SequencerTalk. Music Gear, Synthesizer und Musikproduktion. Und hier sind eure Gastgeber, der Moogulator und Dean Freud.
Hi, this is SequencerTalk, this time in English, because our guest is English, and so we will continue in this language. And here is Mr. Dean Freud.
Hello from the studio. It's a little bit tricky today, but I hope you are all well, and sorry for the English, but today we have Paul Whittington from PWM.
PWM.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to know.
How are you doing?
In Germany, we have got problems with that W. We don't say
That's
W.
completely right.
It's like
It's
like BMW.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas we say BMW.
W. That's completely right.
So
we have
which is PWM is PWM, but it's PWM. It sounds better in German, I think.
I think so too. Yes.
Smoother.
Normally, we are the developers of really long words, really extensive long words, because we are allowed to put them together like a modular system, and then you have really big things for offices, like Aufenthaltsgenehmigung or something like that.
Yeah. Kartoffelschälmaschine. Okay, that's funny things beside. If you like, you can support us under the URL SequencerTalk.synthesizers.de. That's our steady site. It's like Patreon for the people that doesn't know that. And we do a chat after the show with Paul, and you have access if you are official and active supporter on the site.
Evil, but we do it that way. You will find everything in the description, so everything is fine and can be seen and watched and understood on that page, which is done here. And today we are talking about creating synthesizers or building ones.
This little fella.
This thing is has gone around the last years, one or 2 years.
Yeah, it was September 2021 when we first brought it to Superbooth, and that's when people sort of we launched the brand. But it's really been since last year at Superbooth, I guess, since May, that it's really been discovered and taken on and reviewed, and yeah. So
when I've seen your prototype, it wasn't exactly ready by that time. So it's of course it's all finished and everything is fine. Firmware has been updated. Everything is new and cool, and it's known as a big nasty machine. Nowadays, I even mention it if you would like to create some industrial music. This might be the right one. So let the right one in. This one, or maybe this one, or something that is really gnarly, beastie, heart-stunning, and it's by design because it has a special filter. It's called the Selen filter, which is not really often used, and it's really by design. You told us many times, and so it's made for being different or being a bit the hard guy in the studio.
That's right. I didn't want to make something that sounded like other things. I did want to make something that stood out. The principle was to use really very simple electronics and to not be very careful with them. So to let them overdrive, to let them burble, to let them, to almost have less control rather than more control over the design, so that it has a unique sound. And I guess I never really intended to please all of the people. I just decided that I wanted to go in a direction, and I thought, well, this will be for some people and maybe not for others. And actually, overall, the reception has been really, really good. People have really liked the fact that it stands
now at 500 euros, which is quite okay. It's not expensive. When it was released, it was at 600, so it dropped for 100. Yeah, one thing is you designed a lot of stuff. You did that company called Evolution, which is a controller company. Many people may know or knew this because it's no longer existing. It was acquired by M-Audio. Is that right?
That's correct. So I started with Evolution in 1998, and it was then, and we did things like the MK 149, 249, 349, 449C. We did the UC33, UC16. These are little control.
The UCs are very, very, very common.
Yeah, you see the UC33 around still. Some people still have them and use them. It's a nice thing. And then, yes, as you say, Evolution was sold to M-Audio. So then the little team in the UK, myself and a couple of other guys, we became the kind of keyboard department of M-Audio, if you like. So for years thereafter, we were doing key stations, axioms, oxygens, those kind of controllers.
Yeah, the Oxygen 8 was quite fair.
Sure, that was the first one. So they did that before we joined, but then there was a Mark II and so on, and everything else we did. So they kind of had the Oxygen 8, the very original one. And if you remember that one, I've got one up there somewhere. Yeah, and then we went on to do key stations, and actually we even did a range of digital pianos at one point, which I was in charge of, called the DCP series. They were only sold in the States. I don't think any were sold in Europe. And then that company, then M-Audio, was acquired by Avid.
Yeah, and that killed the Venom. Is it right?
Oh, the Venom, yes, the Venom was there. Now that was developed by a guy called Taiho Yamada, colleague of mine. But we worked on some bits and pieces. We worked on the arpeggiation and things. Yeah, me and
you were in when the Venom was.
Yeah, I was there at that time. Yeah, with Taiho.
So you're not the creator, but you were a part of the team.
Yes.
When it was new, and so it really didn't have a chance because
it's actually this is one. That's a Venom under there.
For everyone, it could do wavetables. It's quite unique and versatile at that time, and cheap. Maybe they sold it even cheaper to just get rid of it quite soon. So you did not have really. That's why I say you did not really have the chance to really sell it normally.
Yeah, it was towards the period where M-Audio was getting ready to be sold to Avid, and when Avid came in, certain things like the digital piano range they didn't have an interest in.
They don't want synthesizers in there.
They kind of didn't. It was more of a big business sort of approach. I don't mind saying it didn't suit me or the guys in the UK so well. We spent about a year with them, or a year or two, and then we kind of all left and found our own way. And then, of course, Avid then finally sold the brand to In Music. So that's Akai, and that group of companies now own that brand. So there's still products appearing under that brand. There's nothing to do with any of us or the original team now.
Yeah, that was. But you went to Novation as well for making.
So when I came out of Avid, I then went and joined Focusrite and the Novation team there. So then the second kind of chapter, if you like, was doing synthesizers and stuff. So the first, I did a controller straight away, the Impulse. I did that one, but immediately I did the Mininova. That was one of the first synths that I worked on there. and went on to do BassStation 2. And I did work on Peak. That was like one of the last ones. So we were kind of doing synthesizers and controllers there.
The remote SL series as well.
Not so the SL Mark III was the last one.
Yeah,
this product that I worked on. That one and the Peak. Summit came just after me, but that's two peaks. We used to call it Twin Peaks. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Summit, and so you have.
Yay! There you go. And I've got one of those here too. This here, it's just off camera. I have my SL Mark III. That's a really cool beast. I mean, that's everything and the kitchen sink on that thing. It's got so much functionality. I'm really quite pleased with that one. And the velocity curves and everything. That was neat. The design.
So you did really a lot of things. I remember something called Triggerfinger from sort of sequencer MPC. But
did they sequence? Where's my Triggerfinger? You can't see it at the moment. It's up there. Yeah.
For everyone, it's sequencer. Looks a bit like
it's so long ago. It didn't sequence. I don't think it's sequenced. I think it was just literally
it sequenced after a firmware update. I thought.
Oh, I wonder if that was a later one. That wasn't. It might have been a later one.
But the chat will know it better than us normally, and it was a drum controller more or less for the D8. Yeah.
So this is a great, quite some experience from.
Sure. 20. Right. The reason that I started this was I got to a point in my career where I was thinking, well, I've done all this stuff behind me for these people, these different companies and brands for 22, 23 years, going up for 25 years. And I thought, well, how old am I now? I'm years old. So how far have I got that way in my career? And I figured I was about at the halfway point. So I thought, what a better time to take the experience I've got. And of course, the contacts, that's key as well. Because a lot of what PWM does now is we have teams of people who are made up from guys I've met in the past. So that's how we're able to do what we do today, is through some of these relationships and the friendships that we've.
And there's one thing that is really quite. It looks so obvious, but I don't know if it's by. It's just by a coincidence, because all those things, the controllers were quite for everyone. This time, the Malevolent is a special thing. Is it you are sort of let's make a punk thing or something different from the heart? Is it like this?
It's so it's kind of simple in a way. In starting the brand, I wanted to make an analog synth, a hybrid synth, and a digital synth. And again, it's through partnerships. It's the guys that I met. A chap called Finley Shakespeare, who is from Future Sound Systems. I don't know if he's out there. He might be, he might not. And his business partner Jamie, and the pair of them make Eurorack modules. And I just loved what they were doing with that. And they had a little project called Brunswick, which is a single oscillator thing. And I approached them and said, why don't we get together and we put this experience together and design something together? I think we can make an incredible product. It's like combining experiences. Because one of the things that I have also is I have a Chinese partner. So we do manufacture in China. And that's something that a relationship I've had throughout the whole time of M Audio. I used to go out there 3 and 4 times a year and work on developing keyboards and feel and product design and, as I mentioned, digital pianos. So all that stuff. And so I wanted to bring my kind of expertise together with their expertise, because I have less in the pure analog, certainly in the circuit design. And it's about putting the right pieces together in a product. I've always been a product designer and a product specialist originally, and then a product owner. And so it's a matter of putting the right things together to create our first analog synth. But then we have another team working on a hybrid and another team working on a digital. So
So you're telling us there's more.
Yes. We're just beginning to talk about it. We did hint a little bit at Super Booth last year. But no, when we launched the company, we were always looking at 3 different products and 3 different platforms, if you like. Dean and I were talking a little earlier about how Roland tends to build a massive platform and then produce a lot of products.
Exactly.
Well, I'm no Roland, but there is a principle there that in each of these areas we can build a technology, set of circuitry and what have you, and then create the first product there and then return. So we'll do analog, we'll do hybrid, we'll do digital, then we'll go back to the analog and look at that and develop out in that space, and then in the hybrid space, and then in the digital space. Because you have to ask yourself, don't you, how does a little guy like me in a garage, how do I become Roland or Korg or Yamaha?
Do you want to be like them?
My passion, I just want to make more and more I really have a passion for making instruments, things that people can play, particularly keyboard instruments. And I just feel I have a lot that I want to put out into the world for all you guys out there to enjoy. The greatest pleasure I get is when I see somebody using something that I've made, an instrument that I've made, in a way that I never expected. That's an absolute joy to me.
That's that's the reason why we chose to talk to you, because you do things different, and you want to, like us, you want to inspire people. And this is something I really enjoy, and I like to see in the whole music industry. Not
Good.
just about money, not just it's surely it's a thing, but you have to live and you have to develop and you have to do stuff well. But
I don't think any of us do this to become millionaires, do we? Not really.
Not everyone.
This is
there are certainly some people they do, but
yeah, it is a tough business.
Absolutely.
It will be a long time before I would consider myself wealthy of doing this. It really isn't about that. I mean, I'm a musician first and foremost. I'm a piano player. That's how I grew up. A session player. I've played with quite a few things and done some TV stuff and radio stuff. But so I want to make instruments, and I want other people to be able to make music with the things that I create.
We have a little while played live on some years in some bands, and I heard some funny stories in some chats. Especially the one with the thing with the tree.
Oh no!
Yeah, I did my homework.
Very good.
Explain. I'm the Dalek here. Explain. I don't know what you mean.
I was with I spent a year on the road with a band called Jazz Amiga, based out of Manchester. They were so named because we were sponsored by Commodore. So it was the really? Commodore Amiga. This is how far back we're going. We used to do. We had a large bus, and we'd taken out all the back of it. It was a public transport bus in the UK. We'd taken all the back out of it and put bunk beds in it, and we used to travel up and down the UK doing jazz funk gigs. Essentially, we were a 7 or 8 piece, depending on whether we were full band or not. 7 or 8 piece jazz funk covers band. And we used to play lots of bars and clubs and stuff. It was a fun time. I was a much younger man. It did involve some some drinking, and we used to play crazy card games for dares late at night. So there you are. I'm stopping there.
Okay, you don't have to. But, you can imagine young people a little bit drunk and having some fun, and okay.
There's 2 questions meaning the same in German and in English.
Okay.
Will there be a polyphonic super violent malevolent?
It's difficult to do. It's not impossible. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. The focus is on hybrid at the moment. Then it will be on digital. Then we'll swing back around to analog again and look at what we can make next. I don't.
What has to happen? What has to happen to make you believe in making something new on the analog platform? Because you have platforms. So this time, there is something. Or would you like to create something different, like a bigger version or something with 3 oscillators or something that has more or is larger or something? Or is it, it's just one thing and we have to look how it works and how it sells and stuff, and all the other platforms? And that's the question. Will you just look at it, how many items are sold, and then maybe make something that is sort of a follow-up? Or do you plan to make something completely different because you can do it?
I don't know. It seems like a lame answer, but everything is possible at this point in time. So, and I'm very proud of that, and that's how it should be. I want to establish. You see, there's all the things like the China and the manufacturer, like this sales organization. We're trying to set up. It's almost like setting up a system whereby we can whatever idea we want to realize, we can do it. It certainly won't be driven by numbers or success of Malevolent. That is already a success, and it's sold in great numbers across the world. We're now in Australia. We're in the USA. There's going to be some more announcements about the USA later in the year. Of course, we're all over Europe. We're in the UK, all with different distribution. We're still continuing to build that network. So we kind of want. I don't like to call it a machine. It's not. We need the input end where we can design and make things, and then the output end obviously is selling things. The bit with me in the middle in the garage is a small part of that.
Is there a country that sells a lot more than other countries? One big one.
Funnily enough, it's Germany. The first signing was Hyperactive in Germany, who are a brilliant partner, and of course they'll be supporting us at Super Booth.
I saw Rado is in the chat.
Is he there?
So greetings.
Yeah.
He's a really supportive guy. So without him, we.
Yes.
So
Rado is fantastic.
Just for him, I love it. That's one of the best pieces for the talk, and we wish to have something for Mick. It's really great.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
now something is fucked up.
Yes,
okay.
Black camera's gone. Well, I'll just keep saying this. So we signed with Hyperactive first, and they were absolutely super. They've been superb with us, and they've shown confidence in, because of course the first person you turn up to and you've made this one sample and you put it on a desk and you say to this big boss guy, so do you want to buy some then? And it's like, well, who is this guy? They've shown a lot of trust and investment in me. They were the first on board, and so they so Germany, particularly in the German market. Thank you very much, everyone out there, because that's where I've sold most so far.
This is not it's not clapping. It's waving. So Dean seems to have some issues. So
let's get some techie things.
I don't know, but when I think it's so special. Maybe the Germans maybe prefer strange music styles and genres because there's a lot of harder stuff going on here. I don't know, or is it just because it is distributed well, so it's available to them? Do you think it's because it's Germany and it has some we have Kraftwerk and
Well, it does have a harder edge. You're right. So it's great for that kind of sound. But of course, it is availability too. But no, Germany is a really important market to us for this kind of product. Any synthesizer product, the main interest is well, UK's good, Germany's good, France is pretty good.
Has it changed over the Brexit thing, or does it not really matter?
Brexit. And I'm so sorry, everybody out there, about Brexit. I apologise on behalf of my king and country. It's an absolute travesty that we have left Europe, and I don't mind saying so. I think it's ridiculous. Yes, the way in which it affects me. Do you know what? There's a couple of things that really affect my business. The other one is Donald Trump. I'll come back to him in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, it makes it harder for me to send samples from the UK to anywhere in Europe. It's slower. Things get stuck in customs. I end up paying more money for it. It's just a real drag. Actually, the way my business is structured, because we're shipping quite a bit from China, obviously, if I want to sell into Europe, I get it direct. So we cut out the UK altogether. And we just go China into Europe, which is much. So that situation hasn't changed. The reason I mentioned Donald Trump is because he put a tax on goods import from China to the US. So that makes it harder for my distributor over there. And these are things that people may not realize. And it looks so far like Biden is not going to reverse that decision. So that remains an extra tax. And, everybody, when you make something like this, everybody has to make a small amount of money off it. That's how business works, right? But if Donald Trump is taking 12% or something out of the middle of the margin, that really does make things difficult.
So would you produce or produce or make it somewhere else because so it's cheaper, or is it possible you would like to make it in Europe or something, or in the UK?
Yeah, I personally wouldn't go anywhere else because the guy I work with in China who has a factory, it's like everything else in PWM is a personal relationship. We only work with people that we like. We work with friends. We work with people that we trust. And this chap in China is a dear friend to me. When I go over there, I'm not treated like a Western business person and taken to the fancy restaurant. We go to the local cafe with his mum and his son, and we have a nice chat.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, actually, it's a small amount compared to some consumer electronics.
Absolutely, and actually, our
millions of synth.
our little Malevolent at his factory is a tiny little minnow in what he makes, because he makes digital pianos, organs, controllers, you name it, for many other brands. So we're a tiny little piece, but we're a highly valued piece because we make such a special thing. It's an area of electronics that he's sort of learning about, or his guys are learning about, as we're developing together. So it's very much a partnership. And that's the reason I wouldn't really I'm not over there for low labor prices. It's not about that. It's about their capability and what they can do and how we work together. We right from the very outset, we work very tightly with the Chinese factory. So I'm in daily contact with their R&D department, and we're working on the plastics and the designs and the knobs and the electronics, and then they're often shipping me over boards and samples. I'm very excited to say that the first engineering sample of the new product has left China and will be with me next week. Ooh.
Huh. What will it be?
Oh, I can't say.
Drum machine.
So this is synth number 2. We fully plan to make 3 synths before we then diversify, and we will then, to your question earlier, go back and be looking at analog. We'll know a bit more about what the next analog product will be after we get a bit further into the hybrid and the digital. It's just a matter of resources and how much time we can focus on everything. Dean's back.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
the digital one.
so you, I
yeah.
heard you brought a joke with the drum machine.
Well, who knows? Who knows? If it's an instrument, then I might consider it. But I want to make 3 synthesizers first.
Yeah, everyone is asked to make a drum machine.
Yeah, an analog.
If you are a developer or something,
So an analog drum machine to go with Malevolent. Is that what the users like?
It's something I really want to see with this naughty filter. Why not?
It's possible. It's possible. The Malevolent is actually really good for making drum sounds on.
I have the little nano box here, and it's quite a beast. A lo-fi FM drum synth.
Nice.
I didn't thought it would be so good like this.
Yeah, I think we're all. It's another thing behind the Malevolent. I think we're all searching for new sounds, aren't we? We don't just want to buy something that sounds the same as something else. We always want something new. So then your overall sonic palette, when you're making music, gets bigger and bigger.
Yes,
so,
exactly. So I don't need every time the same thing. So that's the reason why I personally a little bit disappointed over the years from brands like Roland and maybe a little bit from Korg. We hear since years the same stuff, and that's the reason why I chose the Malevolent, because it's different. It has a growly, different sound, and no other synthesizer at the moment has a filter like this at the market. And I think, yes, I think it's right.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I am a Roland guy. If I'm doing session playing and I just want a piano, I have. It's here actually.
So it's no bashing for normal stuff. It's completely great, and I have a TR8S here, and it's really good.
I'm playing that's a Roland Integra 7. So I'm playing it with the Malevolent.
Can do and how the
showing the mini keys to play.
Or showing how the Malevolent can sound on the piano, right?
Good velocity curve, yeah.
By the way, how much can you change via the firmware? I think it's quite not the biggest impact, just controlling the knobs down there on the bottom left, but basically it's a very analog synth, so it's patchable, and it has a lot of it's basically a semi-modular synth, but what is being generated by any kind of software?
The way to, if you put it on camera, I can just describe with my hands here. So here, this bit is digitally scanned. Obviously, the keys are, and it's USB MIDI, and this is all outputting with velocity. That's standard pitch bend. Again, that's being output with velocity. And then when you use vibrato, that's putting out modulation, as you can hear, because it's actually controlling the Integra. So you can hear that. That stops though at this point here. It's almost like this slice on the left is I'm going to get my hand out of the way. Is a MIDI to CV converter, if you like. That's kind of where it stops.
So
everything from here,
envelopes and stuff are
everything over here is totally analog and cannot be controlled by MIDI. Puts out no MIDI. You know, we do occasionally get the question, you know, do the knobs output MIDI? No, they don't. And that's deliberate because we want that to be true analog between there and there. However, as you can see, it lives pretty well in the studio. I find that I use this to play pianos and electric pianos and when I'm doing arranging more than anything else, just because it's convenient, the form factor. And it's just, I believe, I suppose it's partly my background with doing quite a few MIDI controllers. I think about this as a synth and I think, well, why shouldn't it be a great MIDI controller as well? Why shouldn't it be bus powered? I mean, let's just do that as well.
I could not use that Korg controller because it only has one wheel, and you can't really work with. Something is missing, like even on the very well made reface synthesizers, because one of those wheels is missing. Which is really sad because it has a great feel and it's small keys, but it's the best keys you can get at that on a synth. But you can't really use it as a controller because it only has pitch bending but no modulation wheel. So yeah, it's sort of sad, but you can do something different except pianos on that thing. And are you willing to show us something? Or
well, yes. So obviously, I'm just controlling the integrity like that.
So it's obviously you can't switch it to paraphonic mode.
Well, it's a good illustration because again, the key bed is being scanned polyphonically, even though we don't use it on the synth itself.
On the Arturia synth as well, they can the early Arturia synth can also work polyphonically because they send out polyphonic notes like this as well.
And we do. I mean, we do this because we've got velocity on here. So over on the left, we have it's not patched, not pre-patched. But you can bring the velocity up and stick it into something like you could stick it into long enough. Stick it into the filter. One thing I quite like doing. So we just get a bit of. If you bring a bit of that up to modulate the filter, that's just the velocity. Then you can just ping the filter. Let's turn that on. Using the velocity, so so that's quite cool. And if it's receiving MIDI, if you send MIDI or USB MIDI into it with velocity, then it will convert that over here on the left. And you can then apply that, well, wherever you like, modulate whatever you like with this end of here.
I'd like to patch it to envelope intensity because it's better to. Is it possible, or do you need a VCA for that?
You can do that.
You can.
So
it's because it's more. Dynamic playing it, the filter controlled.
You can.
Its envelope and then being controlled by velocity.
I think I haven't done that before, so I'm trying to think what to do that.
Let me.
You're patching it to the VCA, right? On the top right, that's VCA.
I'm trying to see if you're showing me how to do that. Is Dean showing?
I don't know.
I try to. Let me.
I'm trying to get on board with what you're trying to achieve.
With the velocity, it's not possible because you send out a constant voltage. But
it is, yes. So it's
you can do it with the gate.
You can.
I could imagine if there is a controllable VCA, you can control that VCA, controlling the envelope's intensity, controlling the filter. That's the idea.
I know what you
Maybe
mean.
I don't know. I don't have it, so I can't.
Yeah.
It's just one thing.
Dean's
No, you
right about
can't
the-
because you can't modulate
about
the envelopes with
the
CV.
No, you don't have to modulate the envelopes themselves. You only have to control the envelope's output level, controlling the filter. That's like envelope amount controlled by. It's
yeah,
not.
I think like if you see this,
I know what you
the
mean.
problem is what Dean's saying, and he's right, is the velocity output is a constant voltage that goes up and down with the last key pressed. So,
Yeah.
so what you end up with, if I play very quietly, if I turn this control up, you can hear the envelope going up and down in level. However, it's no longer gated. You see what I mean? So you can do it as a drone.
Exactly. It's not possible.
You do it as a drone, but not gated. So you'd have to combine it with the gate signal somehow to do that. Interesting. I see what you mean.
But you can, of course, you can use external VCAs or something to control.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, you can do. So I have some modules over there, but I didn't have the time to set it up with from Neutral Labs, the PIP, and you can record your own CV and stuff, and then you can do everything like.
What we have seen here, it was just because it was possible. Paul, you got these side panels because it's really easy to remove those original panels from of the Malevolent.
Yeah,
and
it is. So,
you
so they
attach
look like this.
one of these, and then you added just something that is available from everyone, holding the a normal Eurorack frame, and you just I've seen that removing the back of your Marvis, which is this little Moog synth, and that brought you to make one big 4 oscillator synth, or 3 oscillator plus
sure.
LFO. So this is the way to go, or this is maybe I know you were quite proud of that removing the panels thing. Is why.
Well, some people have said, why have you done that? there are a couple of reasons. I mean, do you know what? It's just a bit of fun. That was the original intention. I'll be totally honest, because we thought, wouldn't it be cool if you could make green ones and red ones and blue ones? And we actually
it's fashion.
we published the step files or STP files on the website, or they're not on there yet, but I will be doing. And so you can use a 3D printer and just print your own one of these, and then just attach the metal bracket inside, and then it will clip on magnetically. The secondary reason is, if you get your it says here, I can't find it, but if you get your ruler out, you'll find that this is just a little under 19-inch without the sides, and just a fraction over with the sides. So if you want it in one of those rack trays, then you probably want to pop the sides off. The third reason was, never mind the plastic, we wanted to encourage people to kind of make their own versions in wood. And this one, which is made by Rado's brother, Rado from Hyperactive, his brother has made these lovely wood.
He told me this. Yes,
and
it's really cool.
I've got nothing screwed together here at all. This is all done with magnets. So this is actually a standard Behringer. It's a boring old Behringer rack, as you can see, just with the Mavis in it. And these side pieces, I can just take that there, and it's got the you can see the screws in it, which link with the magnets in the side of the Malevolent. that just clips on like that, and then this literally just
so
drops.
to say, sometimes are the cheap
drops in
and
there.
easy
And
ideas the best.
Yeah, and then pitch. You put your pitch into there, and you put your output from here. You can patch that back into the Malevolent, and now I'm playing. I'm now playing the.
No, you are the Moogulator. No,
I am now. And then I can add in 3 oscillator synths straight away. There you go. And of course, with access to the Malevolent filter, as well as the ladder filter up here on the remote, which is rather good fun. Nice chords. I could tune it.
someone asked about will there be a full-size key version of it, or is it?
Again, it's a really good question. It's a really logical way for me to go. I can see us when we come back to the analog group again, the analog platform, making something based on this with more oscillators and proper full-size keys. I think a bigger one is what we need to make next. I think that's what I always listen to users' feedback and always listen to what people are asking for, and that's out of the last sort of year or so. That's been the feel.
I can remember last year I did give you some hard time.
Well, you're very welcome, and so you should. Your users expect you to give me a hard time. It's fine.
So not everything about Malevolent is shiny and completely right in my thoughts.
That's
and
okay.
So that's my opinion. So
yeah, and
take it with a grain of salt.
I very much respect your opinion, and I know that a lot of your users respect your opinion too. So I'm honestly, I'm honoured to be here on this show, and I do respect you both guys. So it's nice to have you.
Thank you.
Ask me difficult questions. It's perfectly okay.
So one of the major drawbacks in my thinking is that the modulation, especially for the filter, is just in the positive side. It's just unipolar. It's not bipolar.
It is simple electronics, simple stuff, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Then LFO, just 2 waveforms. It's a triangle and a saw.
It's the simplest analog wave LFO you could possibly make. It's
sadly
just really
no sine.
No.
For super slow, smooth filter stuff for droning and.
So I mean, all the things you say are exactly what we can look at when we make the next product.
I know. And then there is the little joystick.
Sure.
Over here. Maybe I switch to the different.
The name is underneath, so I switch that off. So you can repeat that now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Should be a little bit different, and I have to move the microphone around to get a little bit better sounding. So I like the idea, but I didn't like the push down there. So the button beneath the joystick is, for me, sometimes a little bit finicky to press.
It is hard to press. The thinking is that change of mode, you are most likely to be either using a momentary hold or using a latched hold. So to switch between is not the easiest because pressing it is difficult.
Can you see this?
Wobble a bit, but it works.
So
it's completely right.
It is exactly like you press this stick to change the modes, and so not everyone knows it. So just
maybe true.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, so it switches between momentary and latched.
Okay.
Hold. So that's in momentary at the moment. So that will hold while I'm doing that, or I can
it works without it works without the arpeggiator as a hold?
It does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can make drones with that.
You can, as well as the drone switch, which is over here. Yeah.
So you be careful what state it is in at the moment. So is it displayed there? And do you see?
There's an LED to show you when hold is engaged. I don't know if is that enough in camera? Yeah, I think it is on my. You can see there it's latched, and then if you click it, then that becomes momentary. So you can't see my finger, can you?
Yeah. I think maybe I can make it.
That's better.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's momentary.
Yeah.
The stick gets in the way of the LED. You can't see it. And then in latched,
I got it.
Turn it on.
Okay.
Turn on. So it's more of a preference that you would choose which way you want to use the stick. That's why the clicking of it is not a performance feature necessarily. It's just to make your choice and then stick with it, if you'll pardon the pun.
Stick with the stick.
Here's one feedback. No one needs sign in an LFO because triangle is the way to go. Yeah.
It's an opinion.
On the,
we've all got opinions. This is the thing.
On the oscillators, it may be more interesting because of FM.
Yeah.
It can do a lot of FM.
That's completely right. And it's just one of the not every normal synthesizer has I have to look that I have the right microphone. So not everyone has oscillator with 3 waveforms stackable.
Yeah, that's great.
My Jupiter has it. But
so you can have 6 waveforms going on this Malevolent. 6 waveforms drive massive filter.
I think
maybe something that is really important because when you move the shape, it does not only do the obvious the PWM, it also shapes the other 2 waveforms, so it's sort of saw with modulation or something.
Yes.
And it doesn't do the way most synths do, because like on a triangle, normally you may have it moving from the triangular to the saw. This time it's more like it's a triangle pulse modulation kind of stuff, and that makes it easy to make one oscillator sound fatter because you can modulate that shape.
Yes,
that's completely right. Yes.
And actually the triangle is huge if you really use it, especially for big.
We can show it.
Fat ends. So if you've got it plugged in, then you can demo the triangle better than me. It's you need
just
one. That.
No drive, nothing else. And let's play. Is it loud enough? I think. So this is the sawtooth.
Yeah.
This is the sawtooth, and you have the shape. Let's take the second.
Yeah, that's a nice way to go.
And then you have to look for the levels, because it's really about the levels in the Malevolent.
You're absolutely right. It's what you put into the filter, and you get a lot more interesting stuff by backing those levels off a bit and driving the filter differently. It can really change the character of the sound.
Yes. I have to hold on. So, and this is something you can really with a little bit of resonance.
Oh, yeah.
And this gets really, really gnarly and really deep over here.
It does. Yes, it can go right down into the brown trouser department, as I put it.
Exactly. So.
Are you wearing your brown trousers, Dean?
No, but I have my black ones. No.
I don't know if that joke works in German or not.
I know. Yes, we call it the brown tone.
Good.
So,
Cool.
I think that's one of the most things that to criticize. It's sometimes a little bit different to tune, but
Yes.
you showed some hacks on your side.
Yes.
And there's one more thing. It just has one MIDI channel, or is there an update?
No, it's selectable now. It's you hold it on, holding down a key. So this is channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 up to G. So you hold it down when you turn it on, holding down a key, it'll select that MIDI channel. And it has local off as well. So you can...
Is there an update? I didn't saw anything.
Yeah.
Where's the update? Where can I find it?
So you go to the site, and if you join the Malevolent users group, you get access to the downloads page with all the updates, firmware updates.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't saw that. Because I didn't saw anything about the update on your page.
Well, it was a long time ago, actually. Do you know what? Because it was you. I'm blaming you.
That's completely right. I give you a hell of a lot of...
Give me a really hard time about it. You complained to Rado about it. Rado said, Paul, he said, it should have MIDI channels. It's no good like this. I said, I know, Rado, we've been rushing to get the firmware finished. We'll do it in an update. So we did straight away. We called it the Dean Freund update.
Yeah, okay. That's enough.
Immediately, it had selectable MIDI channels and local off.
Okay.
And Freud means to be happy.
Yeah, good. Well, we're happy now. So please try the firmware update and let me know if there's anything.
Okay. Is it over SysX or did you have a?
It's a little application that you run for PC or Mac. It detects the current version you've got, tells you what you've got, and then offers you the upgrade if you want to go ahead. And then it's got a little calibration sequence for the joystick as well, just in case that needs a tweak.
Ah, fine. That's good.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing in the pipeline firmware wise, but we always have that option to upgrade things or change things slightly. So we do work on those things from time to time. We've done some improvements on MIDI. We had a little crash, tiny crash, and we were able to smooth that out. Just did some refactoring on the MIDI code. That's
the way to go. The good thing about brands, when they are new, is to show that they care about the product. Just bring updates, bring a good feedback to the people, listen to the people, and this is something you really do. I see a lot of emails in my inbox about the community and stuff, and that's something really nice to see.
Good, thank you. Well, we're trying to build that more and more. I mean, if people go on the website or fill in the form, or if they go on Instagram or Facebook or they email support, it's probably going to be me that answers it. I really like getting the direct contact from people and being able to chat to them about how they're experiencing the synth, because it just means I can make it even better next time. Or we can do improvements if it needs a firmware improvement.
Yeah, I would like to ask you, how does it feel to go with a completely new brand on the market, and what was your thinking about all the reviews, because they gave you a hard time too sometimes?
Well, they can do. It's a huge risk, and I just wanted to do it. It's as simple as that, really. I believed in what I was doing. I believed I was making the right thing, and I believed people would. As I think I said earlier, I didn't expect to please all the people, but I certainly expected to please enough of the people for them to say, "No, this guy's all right. He's doing the right thing." That's all I hoped for. But that very first super booth, when I took this and put it on a very small table with the black tablecloth and 2 speakers and nothing else, and a tiny little sign that said PWM. And the first person to walk through the door on the Thursday was Nick Batt from Sonic State. And he just walked straight up to me and he went, "Right, do you want to be my first then?" And stuck a camera in my face. And he just went, "Right, record. Hello, I'm here with Paul Whittington of PWM." And I went, "Oh." So I'd never done anything like that before. It's been it's been quite I don't know, it was exciting but scary as hell, because what if I got it completely wrong? What if everybody hated it? Well, then I guess I would have gone bankrupt and gone back to working for someone else again. And I'm just very thankful that everyone out there so far, they like what I'm doing. They like the company, I think. They like the brand, the ideas, and I just want to do more. It's very addictive, and I've got lots of ideas. I really want to do more and more. For
How
everyone.
long does it take to develop one synth like the Malevolent?
This
Is
was
it or-
about 3 years. There were, I don't mind telling you at all, there were quite a few sticky bits along the way. One was, these are the things that companies like hardware companies have to encounter: electromagnetic interference, or EMC. What's the C stand for? EMC, electromagnetic something. Can't remember. Getting through those tests, having to change all the power supply and making it so that it doesn't output too much interference, that sort of thing. I'm sure that people, when they sit and play the synth, they never give that a thought at all. But I tell you, that was a tough bit along the way.
We talked 2 weeks ago with Fred Slab, and he did it, and it costs an awful lot of money to test.
You bet.
Everything.
Every time I go to the lab over in Cambridge, that's £1,000. And I mean, I don't have that kind of money at the moment. I have to sell many more synthesizers to be able to suddenly go, £1,000, poof. It's like setting fire to money. It's difficult. But we got there in the end. We're not through that on synth number 2 yet. But we have got our learnings from the power supply on this and built those into synth number 2. So we're hoping to be ahead of that problem. And we're hoping when we go and test it in the lab that we'll be in a better position this time. We've certainly learnt a heck of a lot doing this first one. So that's one of the reasons. There were little areas like that. Not put any finer point on it. The COVID thing happened in the middle of this development. And that just meant I couldn't get to China. I would often go to China and work directly over there, which speeds things up. Couldn't do that. So things were being shipped over to me. You'd test something. You'd say, "Oh, it's not quite right." So then they'd have to make a change. Then they'd have to ship another thing over. So
6 weeks later.
I'm trying to remember what revision this the main board is, but we're talking sort of 9-10 revisions to get to a point where you can say, right, now let's run production and the product's ready. These kind of things are tough, I tell you, really tough.
Crazy. So we're now hitting 1 hour in the show, and the people who see this show regularly
watch it.
We always say something how we manage to do this here, and that's with our steady site. You can go over with SequencerTalk.synthesizers.de and you
the
go on
means dot.
That's right. So
Punkt is like the
SequencerTalk. Synthesizers.de. So it's so hard in my mind that saying this in English is completely fucked up. So if you like, you can support us on a level monthly or annual with €2.50 €5.50 or monthly with €3, €6, 12, and so on and so on. And you have to you can read here all the stuff and see all the things we do. We did do talks with Fred Slab and with Rolf Würmann from Waldorf and some other things. And we do different private shows for our supporters. They called supporter cast. And after the talk here on the live stream, we do a little live chat with all the people, with all the supporters. And if you are a supporter, you don't see this here. You see everything about we call it Stammtisch in Germany. It's a video live chat, and you can talk even tonight with Paul, because he said he will come and join us for
I think Rado's going to join as well.
Yeah, it's great.
So
yeah, but one thing we should have a listen to something, your favorite patch, your favorite sounds. Maybe we should listen to something because I don't have it. Just convince me to buy one.
What with making sounds of it? Oh, I don't know.
In a live show, that's great.
It's really unfair.
You can maybe jam because you both have one. But will it take too long? I don't know.
We can't sync though, Dean.
That sounds a bit like M. Clark. Our darkness.
I don't know if the bass comes across on this.
If it's darker, it's not really the stream won't catch it.
With a little bit of reverb.
Yeah, you've got it hooked up better than me. I'm just playing.
Put a reverb on it and it sounds better.
That is
you can do it without. So.
Here on the stream. You may switch to the synth view. Yeah.
Now we're playing both. Okay. So you can see the modulation with the light, I think, over here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Oh, you got cooler cables.
yes, the voice is a bit.
This what?
Yeah, no, it was too loud. The synth was too loud.
Oh. No one said something.
I do. So, I'm just at.
Okay, when everybody.
Yeah, maybe we could do something special or something everyone may want to know, like how does it react to what level goes into the filter? Does it change the sounds, or does it will it change the sounds dirtness or something, or make it fatter or something? You can do everything.
Oh, I like those cables.
Yeah. You can buy them at explodingshed.com. Shameless. Shameless
That's okay. They're good for demo, aren't they?
promotion. Yeah.
Right.
That's one of. So yeah, I can show the resonance on the filter. I think that's something that's really special on the synth. So unplug this because it's really growly. So different mic. Okay, yeah.
Let's switch to the synth again. Synth view, Captain.
Okay.
It is on the right, but we can't see it. Maybe you can zoom out a bit.
So this should be better. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's completely in the dark, but yeah.
It's completely in the dark. So let's do a little bit brighter.
It's like orchestral maneuvers.
Okay. So without any distortion, drive, and just a filter in drone mode on a half level sawtooth. And then increasing the resonance just for. And the resonance, if you can see this, I will go on up.
It's breathing.
Exactly.
A monster breathing.
It does. It sounds like a restless monster.
Please don't wake it up.
I have to look. It's okay. Focus. Okay. That's just with 15% resonance. And you hear it's already screaming like hell.
happens when you turn up and down the level of the
I can't hear you.
When you turn the level of the oscillator, will it change the sound?
Yes. So 15%. Can you see it? I think so. So completely silent. And it goes in the saturation without. And you hear these jumps. That's when the filter snaps with all the resonance. And if I lower the volume, you get the self-oscillation. And this is just with one sawtooth and 45% of the level of the oscillator and half on the resonance and 45% on the resonance. So complete resonance. And you let's do the second filter. And do both on full level, and you get this bubbling.
So it's no FM involved here. It's really
no
level.
Nothing. It's just the filter and just VCOs without any modulation. It's just, and that's completely. That's why I love this thing. And there is no drive on, and just the volume is around 45%. Let's get some drive going. Do some modulation.
Maybe I don't know if it's really necessary to put some FM into it, because it's really. But what happens if you modulate that stuff by a VCO, any high frequency?
So just do it with one oscillator and just get a drone again.
Proving that is really modulated.
Let's do it with a triangle. With some drive. And this is just with one patch cable. Okay. I think that's proofs enough that's completely ridiculous and completely evil. Beast. And you can get really nice sounds with it. Not just with the Integra, but with also with the Malevolent. Nice.
Sorry.
If you like
the jazz hands.
If you like Filter FM, you may check out it's called the monologue. I'm doing with this little synth, because you can really compare this, because it's really like the opposite. It's anti-valent or something.
Yeah, it makes a great partner to the Malevolent. You get those two different sonic things that you can then blend and.
Right, and maybe another machine, another synth that is known for dirty sounds is this one. Maybe just listen to a little sequence just to compare how it sounds. It's also dirty, but it's a different kind of stuff.
A little bit more nasal. Yes.
Just for that. I don't want to make too much noise about the MS-20. This is this is the soft guy because it's a new one, and the newer sound a bit nicer. So this one it's a bit different, but just to it's more. Yeah, it's more the nose. It's more it sounds differently compared to the Malevolent, but you can't do FM stuff, because you would have patch it to just one oscillator, and if you follow these lines, you can only modulate both. But with this, you can split up the oscillators and FM this time. But normally, normal MS-20 sound won't do that. Just to let you know. And coming back to the Malevolent, just as a comparison to something really, really evil, bad guy, and maybe try some reverb on it or some delays and stuff. I think it will do another job on the sound. But that's because it's modular or some.
I can do this.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Let's get this crazy stuff out of the way and. It's maybe not so deep.
Something is happening.
Yeah, something is happening, and I have all the modulations on. That's the problem. So.
I don't hear anything at the moment.
You don't hear anything because
No.
I'm. This should be okay.
It sounds like shimmering, some shimmering effect.
Yeah.
Applied to it.
Let's do some. I got it. So. Something placed. Okay. We can hear you.
Just fiddling with like pinging the filter through the arpeggiator.
That's funny.
Remember
Yeah.
the velocity hits as you program it. So if you go.
I just someone asked what reverb and delay I used. It's just from the archive force and just randomly picked something terrible, not really good. So.
Okay, someone's asking for there is MIDI and there is CV via the left panel.
Exactly. So you have.
I can wave this one more easily if you want to do back panel shot. Where are we getting to?
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm not used to doing this. So you can see. Go down. That's it.
Yeah,
great.
You've got a full-size MIDI in and out, power jack, decent rocker switch, USB which will bus power, analog clock in and out, phones and single line out. So that's what's there on the back. And it will take clock input from either the clock, the MIDI or the USB, and it will prioritize. So whichever one it receives first, it'll lock onto and hold on to that clock. So it just automatically selects. You can just throw clock at it from any source and it will lock in. And then the arpeggiator knob here, which is up rate normally, if you're clocking, then that will turn into sync. So it'll change and do clock divisions when it detects the clock coming in.
That's a good idea.
It does that automatically.
Yeah.
So
you see, it's not a synthesizer for easy presets or something. It's really
to be fair,
to turn up.
Yeah, it's to be explored. You know, in the user guide, if you are a complete beginner to this, there's no reason why you shouldn't use this because it is fairly logically set out. One of the things we wanted to do was say, you take a source from here, you plug it into here, and the knob immediately below it is then the amount knob for that thing that you've put there. So the idea is that it makes logical sense. But one thing, when you've got a sound going, then it's about exploring that. I find I just lose hours on this, making noises rather than so much playing stuff, I guess. And it is easier to make horrible sounds than it is to make sweet sounds, but it will do sweet sounds. We just did
it will, yes.
Oh yeah,
completely right.
Yeah, we did a we had a filming day not too long ago, and we put out 3 how I made this patch kind of short videos. One of which I did this really kind of almost like a fairy-like lead and put a bit of reverb on it, and it just sounded so sweet. So the nasty malevolent can be a sweetheart when it wants to be.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That also applies to an MS-20. I could imagine that being a really good polyphonic synth because it's not that fat and it won't hurt you. And I could imagine the Malevolent, the same thing, being a nice 4-voice synth, maybe with memory or something.
Sure, it's possible. It's possible. There's another little trick and another video I did where I put 2 of these alongside each other and triggered the first one off the second one, and the second one off the first one. If that makes sense. MIDI crossover. So you
Fatback.
play both, and then you arrange the octave so that this one sat just below this one, and you could play the whole thing. And then if you take one in pan it hard left and one pan it hard right, and you use 2 oscillators on each, and then you start fiddling with the cutoffs on both while you're arpeggiating or something like that, you get this just enormous soundscape. And if you add reverb to that, it's killer. It's really.
I sampled it and did a keep program with the Force with the MPCs, and
nice.
then you can play it in polyphonic, and
Nice.
that works really, really well.
Yeah.
So if you have a DAW or something, you can go really crazy with it in this realms. Yeah.
What I'm really saying to everyone out there is buy 2 of them. Don't just buy one. Buy 2 of them.
Make one without a keyboard.
Now that's the other thing that's been asked. So the 2 questions often get are bigger keys and why won't you do a module?
No keys.
Or are you going to do a module? Yeah, and it's possible. It's possible. We'll see.
Okay, how about your new synth? You talked about it's
the hybrid one and the digital.
It's the hybrid, and you showed me the board on Superbooth last year.
Oh, yes, I did. That was a Frankenstein board, so that was something that we knock up to develop on, to test firmware and so forth. So it's the unit that I'm getting next week will be the first time we've had the proper laid out PCBs. It is a hybrid. It will have 2 oscillators plus a sub. It's got quite a cool filter.
The same?
So no, not
a silencer.
No, it starts with DCO, so wavetable based oscillators. Then you've got a whole analog section, and then you've got digital effects on the end, just a couple. And that's about all I can say. Full size keys, semi-weighted aftertouch. So a really nice feeling keyboard, 37 notes. It looks a bit like Malevolent, but it's bigger. So it's definitely a big brother, but different tech. So completely different sound, being a hybrid. So the idea is the analog, the hybrid, they may share some elements, but essentially they are different technologies.
And this is something we will see on Superbooth.
The plan is to launch it.
No one's listening. It's
So we, as I say, I'm engineering samples now. As long as the schedule holds and we don't fall foul of EMC testing and that sort of stuff, then we'll definitely be at Superbooth with something more to show. We'd love to launch there. We're saying we'd like to launch in Q2 and ship in Q3.
How many voices?
I am not going to say.
Bah.
There's a good reason for that, which I can't explain. There's a little bit of work that we're doing at the moment to try and be a bit clever with how the thing plays.
Okay.
So I can't say yet.
The digital stuff is
question: how many MIDI channels?
It's got 15. We're going to put 15 MIDI channels on it.
No drum machine. Yeah, and there's still the full digital one, since things like the micro freak or the mini freak, it has been a new kind of quality to digital synth because they are easier to handle than earlier synth compared to even a 4-operator FM synth, it's quite easy because you only have to turn 3 knobs. Because everything is within this knob and that model. So is it? Do you plan something like that, or is it completely? Different?
So the third thing at the moment exists as a platform. We're developing it in software, and it's about creating a whole suite of tools and elements and operators and oscillators and functions and stuff, and getting that together as a library before we actually decide how we're going to lay that out into a product. I'd like to go even more higher end with that though, so fully featured and higher end. I think that's where I'd like to land with that one, because the as well as being analog hybrid digital, the Malevolent is sort of at the lower end. The hybrid will be somewhere in the middle. I think the digital one, I'd like to give the users everything that we've got, because we've got an amazing amount of technology.
Do you watch the market before that, or do you think, hey, I'm going to do something really cool? And
definitely the second one. I make whatever I like, and then somehow try to fit it into the market and sell some. I'm honestly, I watch competitors. I think that Arturia Mini Freak is fabulous. It's a fabulous synth. I love the ASM synth. It's amazing the amount they've crammed into that. At the same time, I've got to make my thing, so it has to kind of look at those and go, okay, that's fine, but I want to make this. And then I cross my fingers and hope that I'm right, and hope that people like it.
Sometimes there are digital concepts that seems to change over time, like the Soulspeed guy showing stuff every year that is changing, or there's still a lot of concepts around to be inspired by. But are you more inspired, or do you think, well, I have to have something that I have in my mind, and so I have to make that possible? Watch for developers who can do that, or for the right processor doing that. How do you start with that?
Well, I have a general. I start with a general idea, and I have that kind of idea of the rough how it should basically come about. But I love working with people, and it's through the collaboration that we always get to what the final product is, because everybody's entitled to have ideas along the way. There are great ideas coming. It's not like because you're the product designer that you exclusively have the ideas. I mean, you've got to guide it, so you might say, well, I don't know if that'll work, or compare it with something else. But I take on board a lot of what the rest of the team come up with. We do it together. That's how we enjoy doing it. We get together and hey, what about this? Will this work? And then we'll try something out. And if it's fun and it plays well and it's enjoyable, it's like, right, well, that will go in. So there's a lot of collaboration. I'm not a dictator. I love working with people though. It's great. It's all friends and trust, and making cool things that way. It's got to be a free flow of ideas. I've worked too much in companies where it's like, right, well, it's the design department that make this, and then the engineers sit over here. They get delivered the specification from the design department, and the engineers sit there and they go, right, and they start coding it or working on it, whatever. That's not the best way to do it. You've got to do this. You've got to mesh together right from the beginning. And that includes with the Chinese partner as well, because in terms of designing for manufacture, making the thing so that we can actually build it and sell it at the right price, that process starts from day one. So the design process is constant. The development and the design for manufacture bit starts at day one. So everybody's getting an input into how the product comes to be. And I guess I'm the shepherd. Cool. I'm the shepherd in the middle, sort of herding the sheep around. It's not all about me.
It's funny because we have next month on the 14th, we have Kiviak here. They have a completely new product, and this is a new brand in the synthesizer game. So if you like what you see, and next time we are a little bit better prepared. So sorry on my side, it was a little bit stressful today, but yeah, the show will go on, and we have a big birthday raffle the whole month. So if you like, you can go on sequencertalk.synthesizers.de, and you will find every information about our little birthday raffle, and you can win some cool prizes like Fred Slab, the kit, or the Nerd Sequencer from XOR or something like this. Even a keyboard stand from Black Panther Systems and stuff. So have a lot of fun, and it's really great to talk to you, Paul. I hope to see you at the Super Booth. And
we definitely will. We definitely need to go get a beer this time.
That's right. We missed it the last time, I think.
We did. Well, you were a bit Arturia'd up at that point as well, weren't you? Although I did come over and play the stuff, didn't I, and see the things in the Arturia bus. It's fun. But yeah, maybe we can hang out this time. Be good. And thank you very much, both of you guys, for having me on. It's an honor. It's an honor to come and talk to such learned synth gentlemen as you. So thank you very much.
Oh God. So everybody who wants to join us after this show in the video chat, go on the site I mentioned, or follow the links beneath in the information box under the video, and you will find all informations about us and all the stuff about this episode of Sequencer Talk. And a very big thank you to Paul, and a very big thank you to Moogulator, and a very big thank you to all of you outside there. And yeah, see you next time. We do stream live every Tuesday on 8:30 p.m. Central Europe time, mostly in German, as you can hear. We're not native speakers. So have a good time, and thank you. Nick, do you have something to say?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. That's great.
Farewell.
Yeah. I think this should work. No. There's no time. Let us roll. This day is completely screwed up. So
there we go. Credits. Righto. You just rang I've been using my camera, so can you hear me?